Every month, this boring website gets 11 million visitors and makes about $500,000 by doing one simple thing, unscrambling words. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I cloned it without writing a single line of code in about 15 minutes. I'll even walk you through how to monetize it with Google Ads. Now, you might think you need to be a big brand, sell products, post loads of articles, or have a huge social media following to make this kind of money. But this site does none of that. It just does one of the most basic things I've ever seen on the internet. You type in random letters, it spits out words. That's literally it. And here's the crazy part. There are thousands of boring utility sites like this, quietly making thousands every single month. This sleep calculator, $9,000 per month. This What Is My IP Address tool, up to $111,000 per month. And a calculator.net, $825,000 per month. They're all running the same simple model. And now, with AI, it's never been more accessible to someone like you or me. Now, you might be wondering, okay, Jonathan, I get that AI makes it easy to build the site, but how do you actually get Google to recommend it? That's the part most videos completely skip over. Well, that's exactly what I'm going to cover. I'll show you a foolproof method for choosing the right utility site to build, one that can actually rank on Google, because your success is my success. Welcome back. And if you want to see more videos where we explore what one person can build and monetize with AI, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment below what you'd like to see next. And with that said, let's talk about how this site actually makes money. And honestly, once you see the numbers, it's going to change the way you think about the internet.
Astonishing.
If you install a free Chrome extension called SimilarWeb, you will see that word-unscrambler.me gets between 10 and 11 million visitors a month. And that's because people are searching terms like unscramble words and word unscrambler millions of times a month. Now here's where it gets interesting. Each visitor views about 5 pages on average, which gives us roughly 55 million page views a month. Now, you might be wondering, what does that actually mean in dollars? The site's business model is Google display ads, like this ad we see here. And here's something most people get completely wrong. You might think people need to actually click the ads for the site to make money, but that's not the case. The site gets paid simply for showing the ad. No clicks needed. So how do we figure out exactly how much it's earning? The metric that matters is called RPM, basically how much you earn per 1,000 page views. Now pay attention here, because this is where it gets really interesting. For a site like this, that has strong engagement and a lot of traffic coming from tier 1 countries, like the United States, that's realistically somewhere between $3 and $12. If we run the numbers at $9 RPM, that's roughly $500,000 a month from a site that unscrambles words. Just so this is crystal clear, here's the math. The site gets about 55 million page views a month. RPM means earnings per 1,000 page views. So if we assume a $9 RPM, we divide 55 million by 1,000 to get 55,000, then multiply by 9. That gives us roughly $495,000 per month. If the real RPM is lower, it earns less. If it's higher, it earns more. And in a moment, I'll show you exactly why sites like this are such a powerful model. So now you know how the money works, but here's what makes these utility sites genuinely genius.
Genius!
They solve one specific problem instantly. Someone searches mortgage calculator, gets their answer in seconds, and leaves happy. And if they're happy, Google's happy, and will keep sending you more traffic. And the demand? It's huge and evergreen. People needed a budget calculator 10 years ago. They need one today. They'll need one in 2030. Something you build this week could still be earning years from now. Now compare that to content businesses. With a blog or YouTube channel, you're constantly creating. It never stops. With a utility site, you build it once and it runs indefinitely. Now you might be wondering, if this is so good, why isn't everyone doing it? Well, up until recently, you had 2 options. Spend months or even years learning to code, or hire a developer for a few $1,000s per tool. Either way, it was out of reach for most people. But that's exactly what's changed. And in a moment, I'm going to show you the exact process I use to build one of these sites. No coding, no developers, no experience needed. Now, when I say anyone can build a utility site like this without writing any code, I genuinely mean that. I've built multiple sites this way, and the process is the same every time. You just chat with AI in plain English, and it builds it for you. The tool we're using today is Hostinger Horizons, an all-in-one platform that takes your idea from concept to fully operational website just by describing what you want. Now you might be wondering, is there a catch? Like, does it actually work? Or is it one of those tools that sounds good but falls apart the moment you try to do something real? Well, stick around because you're about to see me build a complete working utility site from scratch in this video. But first, let's get you set up. Go ahead and click the link in the description. It'll take you right to Hostinger Horizons. I'm using the starter plan, and here's why it makes sense. You can launch up to 25 websites, monetize them, sell digital or physical products, and you get a free domain for the first year. For what we're building, that's everything you need. And right now they're running a deal. If you go with the 12-month option, you'll get a big discount, and you'll see a spot for a coupon code that gets you an additional 10% off on top of that. Plus they have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you try it and it's not for you, you just get your money back. No stress. Once you're inside, this is where it gets fun, because from here, you can literally create anything you want just by describing it. And that's exactly what we're about to do. So watch how I create, step by step, a site just like word-unscrambler.me using Hostinger Horizons, just by chatting with its AI, instead of coding or hiring a web developer. And I want you to pay close attention here, because what you're about to see might genuinely surprise you. Let's get this jam started. So inside Hostinger Horizons, everything starts with a chat box. I'm just going to describe in plain English what I want Horizons to build for me. Here's the prompt. I want to build a simple web app that is a word unscrambler. The user types in a group of letters and the word unscrambler shows all the real English words that can be made from those letters, and so on. Now we just hit enter and Horizons gets to work. And watch this. After a few minutes, it already delivers us a working version. However, it's designed the main function behind a button click, which isn't ideal. We want it visible immediately. And this is where most people would get stuck. But all we have to do is tell it what we want fixed. We write, the letterbox to put letters into should be available immediately. And in under 2 minutes, it's done. Look how it's already working perfectly. After putting in these random letters, it's found 12 words and grouped them by word length. Now at this point, this is already publishable, but here's where it gets interesting. There are a couple of things I'd like to improve. The unscramble button seems very far away from where the letters are inserted. And if we compare to the successful site, the user doesn't have to move their cursor so far to click it. Besides that, the site is only using black and green, which is pretty boring. So let's just ask Horizons to fix those things and watch how it follows our instructions to the letter. Pun intended. This is looking better, the button feels more accessible, and the site is now using various colors, and it's still working exactly as intended. Now you might be wondering, is that it? Are we done? Well, almost, but not quite, because if we look more closely at what the most successful sites in this space are doing, there's one thing they all have that we're missing. If we look more closely at the example site, as well as this other successful site, we can see they include additional options, which it turns out are essential for many common use cases, particularly word games like Scrabble or Wordle. Our web app would be lacking without these. If we had to figure out the code and logic to build these options, it would be a real headache. But all we have to do is ask Horizons. I just specify what the additional options should do, and again in a few minutes that is done. Let's try it out. We'll say the word has to start with the letter E and contain 5 letters, which gives us eagle, working perfectly. And just to make sure, let's find all words that contain an X. And there you have it. Fantastic. Just one last tweak. I prefer the options to not be visible immediately. And let's make the button stand out more by changing its color. Done. We'll just check it's still working, and we are ready to publish. Publishing could not be simpler. We just go up here to the publish button and click it. That's it. We've literally got a live site now. However, there is one thing you'll want to change straight away, and that's your domain name, because this is what determines whether Google can actually find your site. Our site is currently on a temporary domain, which is not good for search optimization. What we want is a domain name that matches what our site does. So click here to load the domain search tool. Surprise, surprise, word-unscramble.com is not available. So ChatGPT gives me some alternative suggestions to try. I like this one, which is available with a .com, so I'll take it. The domain is now connected, and despite the fact that it says it needs more time, let's just try loading the site anyway in a new browser tab. And there you go. It's already up and running. 7 words, fully functional, and check this out. We can load it on the phone, and it's perfectly adapted to my device and fully functional. Congratulations! You just built your first utility site, and now comes the part that actually turns it into a business. I'm going to walk you through setting up Google display ads on your site, step by step. And if you remember the numbers from earlier, page views, RPM, this is the step that makes all of that real. The first step is to go to adsense.google.com and click sign up. Once you're signed in, write your site's domain in this field. Then click Start using AdSense. Now you might be wondering, is this going to be complicated? Because AdSense has a reputation for being a bit of a headache, but I promise you, with Horizons, it's about as painless as it gets. Now we come to this screen, showing the next 3 steps. Your payment info, how ads will look on your site, and connecting your site to AdSense. Click Payment Info and fill it out. Then click the Explore button to see how ads will look on your site. Here you can preview the locations of ad spots and remove any you don't want. However, this isn't working yet because we need to grab some code and put it in our site first. And this is the bit that would normally trip people up. But watch how simple this is. Click this red Get Code button, hit Copy, and just ask Hostinger Horizons to insert the code for us. Then publish changes. Now come back to AdSense, check the placements, and click this icon on any you want to remove. Switch between mobile and desktop previews. Click Apply to Site, then Save. And now for the final step, connecting the site. Click Let's Go, check I've placed the code, and click Verify, and our site is verified, just like that. All that's left is to request a review for compliance. Now here's something I want to be upfront about, because most videos on this topic just gloss over it. You will need to do a bit more work on the site before it gets accepted into AdSense. If we look at our example site, and this other very similar one, also with huge traffic, we see they have a handful of related tools, some legal pages, and a bit more content, like an in-depth explanation of what the site is for. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like a lot, but here's the thing. This is easily done with Hostinger Horizons. The additional content and legal pages can be done in a jiffy, and for the other tools, you just repeat the same process we already went through. Right, so you've now got a fully built, monetized utility site. But before we move on, there's something important I want to address. I know you're smart enough to realize that having ads on your site doesn't guarantee you'll get income. The income is generated when you have traffic, and traffic will only be generated when Google includes your site at the top of the search results. And getting ranked on Google's first page is a whole topic, no, a whole industry in itself. So you might be wondering, is there actually a simple way to approach this? Or do you need to become an SEO expert? Well, actually, there are simple strategies that can give you the best possible chance of getting ranked fast, which I will explain in a minute. Before that, I just want to add that there is nothing stopping you publishing multiple simple tool sites, or even multiple similar tools on the same site, just as our example word-unscrambler site does. That way, you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, and at the same time, you're giving yourself the best chance of earning as quickly as possible. And this strategy leads to compound earnings, even if you're not earning much with recently launched sites. If you have multiple sites, the earnings can start to increase quickly. If you had 4 or 5 tools earning $100 to $200 each, for example, you could quickly get to $1,000 per month. And as I've shown you, going from idea to published site can be done in under an hour, and often even faster with Hostinger Horizons. Heck, you could even publish 5 on the same day. And actually, before I show you the research strategy, Horizons has one more feature I want to show you that could earn you passive income, because the more sites you build, the more this one could work in your favor. And this is something I really like about Horizons, and it's something most people completely overlook, because every site you build can become an additional income stream all on its own, completely separate from the ad revenue and Google, and it requires 0 extra effort on your part. It's called Remixable templates. Here's the idea. You build something with Horizons, a landing page, a tool, a small app, whatever, then you publish it as a template. Now, anyone can click Remix and instantly get their own copy of it. They can edit it, change the design, and turn it into their own project. Now, you might be wondering, what's in it for you? Well, if someone remixes your template and then signs up for Horizons, you earn a referral commission on whatever plan they sign up for, up to $150 per referral. And all you have to do to activate it is to come up here inside your Horizons project and click Let Others Copy Your Website, and then allow copying. That's all there is to it. So think about what that means. The more sites you build, the more templates you can offer. And the more templates you offer, the more chances you have of earning that commission, completely passively while you sleep. So your projects don't just sit there. They can become templates that bring in users and generate passive income for you. Build once, let others remix it, and get paid when they launch. And the more you build, the more that potential compounds. So now let's talk about how to make sure the sites you build actually get found on Google. Now, what I'm about to show you is actually crucial for your success and something that a lot of videos completely overlook. And honestly, this is the part that determines whether your site earns money or just sits there doing nothing.
Do nothing.
I'm going to give you a little known method for choosing what web app to build that removes all the headache and allows you to make a confident choice that gives you the best chance to get off to a flying start.
Flying? Still flying?
First off, let's be clear about what we want. We do want to find something that a lot of people are searching for, but we don't want too much competition from other sites that Google already trusts. And this is traditionally done by doing keyword research, looking at the popularity and competition for a given topic with the aim of finding something popular but easy to rank for. But really, the best way to know that a topic is easy to rank for is to look at Google itself, because when the first page of Google has new sites on it, it usually means the older trusted sites aren't fully answering the search query. So Google is still looking for better results. Now you might be wondering, how do you actually find those opportunities without spending hours trawling through Google results? Well, you can't just endlessly search random Google results because you'd be searching for the proverbial needle in a haystack. And on the other hand, there's no tool in existence that will spit out a guaranteed money-making niche at the push of a button. The reality is somewhere in the middle ground. We start with one broad idea, then use a research tool to help us find opportunities within it. There are a lot of keyword tools out there, and the most popular ones are pretty pricey. But the most helpful ones don't just give you piles of data, they actually tell you which queries Google is serving new sites for, saving you endless hours of trawling. So let's run through this step by step. We start with a seed keyword, something like time, calculator, PDF. I'm going to try generator. My preferred tool for this is ClearSERP. Enter the seed keyword, set it to only show easy keywords with a maximum difficulty of 10 out of 100, then hit research. We'll get this list of keywords all related to generator. Now sort the list by difficulty so the easiest are shown first. Then go through the list and check any that look like they could be answered by a web app, like this one here, phone number generator. And now for the crucial step. We ask it to analyze all the Google search results pages for the queries we selected and to tell us if it finds any new sites included in the results. And here's what we get back. The numbers in the circles are trustworthiness scores from 0 to 100. And ones highlighted in blue have very low trustworthiness, which is almost always because they're new. And without scrolling down, we already see 3 queries with new sites ranking on the first page of Google. So what this is actually telling you is that Google thinks this new site is answering the query better than more established and trusted sites, which means there's a gap, and you can potentially fill it. In a nutshell, a random phone number generator and a dragonborn name generator should rank quickly, and they both have a decent volume of monthly searches. Any questions about this, or if you want me to do another video just on this, please leave me a comment below. Right, before we wrap up, I want to zoom out for a second, because I think it's important you understand what we've actually built here today. Because this isn't just a word unscrambler, it's a digital asset. 6 months ago, building something like this meant either learning to code, which takes months, or hiring a developer for a few $1,000s. For most people, that door was simply closed. Now, you just did it in minutes. And these tools don't expire. A calculator you build today can still be earning in 2030 with zero maintenance. And remember, the best strategy is a compound strategy. One tool might earn $20 a month, another might earn $500, another $5,000. So don't give yourself the pressure of aiming for a mega successful site on your first build. Don't build one tool, build a portfolio of sites or a handful of related tools on one site, each pulling in its own traffic, each showing ads. Because even modest earnings stack up fast. 5 tools earning $200 each is $1,000 a month already. Add one that breaks through and you're looking at life-changing income from sites you built in an afternoon. Now, I think it's important to bear in mind that only a small percentage of people know about this business model, and an even smaller percentage of that percentage will actually take action on it, and an even smaller percentage will stick at it if the first project fails. So I challenge you to be one of the few who do profit from this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And you can be sure of one thing: the only guarantee of failure is not trying. The model is proven, the demand is evergreen, and the barrier to entry has never been lower. Your first digital asset is one Horizon session away. I really hope that was useful to you. And if you'd like to see more videos of me building stuff with Hostinger Horizons, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to download the show notes to this video using the link in the description below. Thanks for watching and consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one.